Good evening, guys. Let's get started. All right, I'm ready. Uh, Good evening, everyone. How are we doing? How was your weekend? Did you guys have fun? Um, yeah, I'm ready. Let's get started. Okay, so first, as usual, we'll cover shortly how the market is performing. We'll cover Qs, SPY, AWM, Bitcoin, and we will go with the Magnificent Seven stocks. Then I will share the setups that I will be watching for this week. Okay. And then after we finish, I will cover your questions. If you guys have any questions, for example, if you want me to have a look at any stocks that you are interested, call options, put options, doesn't matter. And there will be Q&A session. All right. So yeah, can you guys hear me loud and clear? Just let me know. Right? All right, cool, cool, loud and clear. All right. So let's get started. So as you can see, market dumped overnight. As we all know that the tension between Iran, U.S., Israel is still going on, and there were like a few strikes in each side, and we got the results. The Qs are down 2% on overnight. SPY is almost down 1.8%. And IWM is bleeding. The small caps are taking a biggest hit. And the crypto is still just chilling on this range. All right, let's get started. So I'm watching Qs on a daily time frame. Nothing has changed since the last week. As we can see, we're still on this range. All right, we're still chopping. Some days we go up, some days we go down, and the past since the let's say since the beginning of February, we're still on this range, right? But overall, if you zoom out and if you put on a weekly, it is much clearer to see that we don't have any direction in the stock market. A lot of people are saying the market needs to pull back and like make a correction itself because we've been in a one of the greatest bull runs since April 2025, right? Uh, since February, we had the tariff newses, like market dumped 24%, then quickly recovered in the next 6 to 7 months, right? 56% here, you can see the percentage, right? 60% is huge, right? And well, to be honest, from the technical side, from technical analysis side, markets needs to pull back a little bit. A healthy correction would be good for the stock market, but market can change anytime. Well, one tweet from the president or anyone else that the war is ended, and you will see market recover real quick. So be careful. Don't trade on this chop. All right. Yeah. So let's put on a 4 hour time frame. As you can see, if you zoom out, so we're still on this chop zone. The overnight market is down, right? And we have a in a 4 hour time frame, we have a nice support here, right? So let me open my another window for a bigger picture, right? 4 hour. Now we can see we have support here, right? We have been testing this support zone since September 2025, right? We got tested the support here. We tested here, tested here, tested here, and we tested here. We broke down and quickly recovered. All right. And we have been testing in February, in late February. Now we are in March 2026. We're still testing it, right? And the next support for Qs will be around somewhere here, right? Let's put a 580, the ultimate support. If we break down 580, then I will start being a bear. And here we got two zones, 580 and 588. All right, let's put it 590, right? Just round up. Because on a daily, you see the bottom weeks here, right? The bottom week here, and currently the price is at below, a little below 580, right? So as I said, still in this chop zone. Tomorrow, Monday, market can recover real quick, as we have seen on last week Monday. What was that? Last week Monday was what day was it? Yep. You see this one? The candle? The market opened here and then really quickly recovered on Monday. So we'll see how market will open. There's nothing to do with the Qs, right? Same thing with SPY. For SPY, I had this 677 support zone. We broke down on Friday. This candle represents the Friday, right? But overall look for SPY, and well, I assume we will probably bounce back, right? We will keep dropping and bounce from the 650, right? And we will see. But from technical side, we have been breaking down all the EMAs here, right? All the EMAs. The only EMAs that I use is 9, 21, and 50. The 50 is ultimate breaking down, right? If we break down the 50, then I will start being bearish. So you can see we have been holding this white line, which is the 50 EMA, a lot of times, right? Finding a support. So we broke down, we recovered, finding a support, and it was a chop, right? When there's a chop, the EMAs don't work. Keep in mind. Right now, we have a direction forming, right? So you see, when this 9 EMA green line, this let's call it orange line, right? Let's call it orange line, 21 EMA and 50 EMA. When the 9 EMA is above 21 and 21 EMA is above 50, gives you a direction in the stock market, right? So you see a direction in the uptrend. But now we are breaking down all the support levels on SPY, right? And now it will be like, let me show you the bear market we had, so you can get a clear idea, right? Where was it? It was somewhere. Oh, here, for example. This is kind of a small bear market, right? So you see 9 EMA is below 21, 21 is below 50. So here was a overlap between the EMAs, and when you see this, you see we got a nice direction for like a month of a short direction, right? So keep in mind, till SPY is chopping, the next support, the ultimate support for SPY should be around like a 650. Let me switch on a 4-hour time frame. You can see we are coming close, and we have a gap here that the market needs to fill, right? We'll see tomorrow what will happen, right? The futures, the SPY opened at 8 p.m. Eastern time at 667, right? We have a gap to fill, right? If we don't get a good news, right, and the market will sell off, then we'll probably leave this gap on the SPY. The IWM is a beautiful, beautiful short right now, right? Let me delete all the unnecessary trend lines, right? We've been building a massive, beautiful bull flag on IWM. And you can see since April 2025, we had we've been building a nice support trend line on IWM, right? And on Friday, we have broken down the trend line, closing around 250, right? Around the 250. And that means, all right, IWM is a little bit bearish, all right? But on the other hand, doing the technical analysis, you will see, yes, we have broken the trend line here, right? This trend line, we have been broken down, but we have a little bit support zone here. So I wouldn't short IWM since it broke down. I need a little bit more bearish sentiment, a little bit bearish movements. So what I'm expecting from IWM is is currently trading at 240, 242.80 in overnight price, which is 242. All right. Currently, IWM price is around somewhere here. All right, let me just do this. 248.80, right? Somewhere here, and I'll make it color a little bit blue. Okay, so currently IWM is trading at 242.80 price in overnight, 243, 242, right? And let's see, we will have a massive gap, massive gap here, right? We'll have a massive gap here to fill, right? The gaps, if the IWM is trading here, and this is a support we got, right? And IWM is trading here, we have been breaking down the support, and there's a massive gap here, right? I hope it makes sense to you. And let's see how IWM will be performing this week, right? If it closes below the support, right? Let me just delete it. Below the support zone, and keeps going lower, then we can short IWM all the way to till November lows, which is another support here. We have been breaking down the support, and the next support will be here. Okay, and keep in mind, I wouldn't dive into the IWM codes because it's 3% down, and the market loves to sell off in overnight and recover the next day. Okay, we will probably make this type of move. It will open somewhere here. We will recover a little bit, right? There will still be gap. Make this type of move, right? Fill the gap, and then continue to sell off. Okay, so when Bitcoin is still on this range, we have been talking since the last probably 2-3 weeks, right? So we have been chopping on this range, right? We have been trading on Bitcoin this range. We broke down, sold off, right? And on March 4th, we break out. We break out from the chop zone, from the resistance, right? And then it was a kind of bull trap here. A lot of bulls thought that even I thought that all right, Bitcoin breaking out, maybe it's time to go long on crypto market, right? But it was like a nice bull trap. A lot of bulls got trapped. Some people bought Robinhood call options, Coin call options, iBit call options, and then the next day we quickly came back to the range zone, which is like below 70, 7,650. I'm sorry, 650. Yeah. Yeah. Still back at the chop zone, right? I'm not expecting anything from the Bitcoin, right? Either we will break down or break out, but it's very likely to see on the weekly we have a very nice here's a trend line, the support trend line on the Bitcoin. We have been forming since, here's a date, 2022, right? We've been testing this trend line, support trend line in 2023, in 2020, late 2023, right? And it will probably come back to 56, which is another support here, right? Okay, so next we will cover Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, and Nvidia. All right, Magnificent Seven stocks. They're very important. You should always look at the Magnificent Seven stocks when you trade other stocks. Why? Is because they contain the majority of SPY, Qs, and the entire stock market. Their valuation is, let me see, the market cap is, for example, Apple, $3.78 trillion. Amazon is 2.29 trillion, right? And Google is 3.6, right? It's a lot of it's a big market cap. So if they sell off, market will sell off. If they pump, market will probably very likely pump. Okay, so I miss you, Night. I miss you too, brother. All right, let's quickly cover the Apple. Apple, uh, very similar to IWM setup, right? We have a nice trend line on IWM, and we have been breaking down. And on Apple, same thing. We have a nice trend line support here. We have been testing this trend line in April 2025, right? August 2025, January 2026, and we have tested this trend line, the support trend line on Friday this week. Okay, so I have call options on Apple, and I'm going long. This is my trade setup, right? I bought Apple calls around 256, 257, right? And I'm expecting that cat bounce, and my play is a dead cat bounce on Apple, right? We tested this trend line here, and we recovered. We did, and we have a beautiful symmetrical triangle, the resistance trend line here, right? We made a like couple of fake breakouts, right? We dumped, right? We recovered, we tested again, then we dumped again. All right. So my play for Apple will be if it can make that cat bounce like it did in the mid January 2026, like this, right? It will test the trend line and then recover, or and it will test, recover, right? Something like this. Test, we go up a little bit, right? We test it again, right? And then it will probably go up, right? Or, well, we are traders. We don't predict. We try to predict the market with educated yes, right? It will make this type of move, or it will break down the trend line, like it did with IWM. You see, we broke down the trend line, closed bearish on the Friday, right? If it's gonna break down, then I will cut my loss at around like a 253, 252, right? But why I like the Apple call options here, let me just delete it, because we have a nice, very nice support here, right? We've been testing this support multiple times, right? Each candle represents one single day, right? We tested, bounce back, You see, we tested. The beauty of this trade is this candle on Friday is closed a hammer. It's called hammer candle. A hammer candle, you can just go to Google and just type what is hammer candle in trading, and you will see a lot of pictures, a lot of explanations. I will make it short. This is a bullish sign. Okay, you see how we tested and then recovered. We tested the trend line and recovered real quick. So I don't have big hopes for Apple. I will give it enough time to play out for this week. Maybe I will be down 25%, 30%, maybe 40%, but it's worth the risk to me. So maybe you have a different risk tolerance. I have a different risk tolerance. All right. So yeah, this is my play for Apple. We're still testing this trend line, and I'm expecting the bounce back up. So for those, if you don't know what to do here, I have explained the Apple trade on the Discord, right? Apple due diligence and trade idea, right? I've been tracking Apple for high probability bounce play off massive multi-year level, blah, 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 blah. Here's a fundamental analysis, right? A little bit short background, right? For example, the Apple announced like a new MacBook Neo for the price of 599, almost $600, right? And here's the technical part, and here's the trade idea, right? Take it or leave it. It's up to you. It's on your risk. Here's the setup. Okay. Right. Let me go back to the stream. What's the expiry on your Apple calls, David? Same as here. My expiration is March. What was that? Let me open up. It was it was it was April 10. Yep, it was April 10. April 10 call options. Oh, here. And check. Here's the weekly, right? And here is the picture. And I also said, so I entered the trade on Friday, taking a risk. Like if you are in Apple trade, please note that the risk by swinging the position over the weekend, it's very dangerous, right? The weekend swinging right now, any positions over the weekend is dangerous. You don't know what's going to happen, right? I said it and I took the risk. So we will see how the market will open on Monday. Okay. So the next is Amazon. Amazon, I've been talking about the Amazon last week, right? So here's the setup. I will cover real quick. We had a gap here, gap left to fill. It's around like a $2 gap, and we have another gap here. You see, the gap left here that needs to be filled someday. It doesn't mean it will fill the gap and bounce back up, right? So what we did is we build the floor here. We made a kind of reverse head and shoulders on Amazon. Here's the head, here's the left shoulder, here's the right shoulder, right? And then we have been going up. We had a gap. We had a gap here. You see, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete. You can see we had a gap from here to here, right? I will put it back. And you see, we fill the gap perfectly. You see the bottom week of this day, February 5th, we have a bottom week. And look at the top week of this Thursday candle, which is March 5th. We have filled the gap and then pulled back on Friday, which means, okay, now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna delete the gap because we have filled the gap already. Now it's irrelevant to still have the gap. And we still have the gap here. the upper side from 227 to 232, right? We have a gap here. And turn on your EMAs and you see how it it almost bounced back from the 9 EMA. And now it's trying to find the support from the EMA 9, right? But we have rejected the 50 EMA here. It's very important, right? So there's nothing to do with Amazon this week. I'm not gonna lie. Either we will probably build a flag here, right? A flag here, and it will probably make this type of move. Go lower, go up, right? Go lower. This is the first option that it will do. Go lower and go up, right? And again, do this, do that, right? Once you see a breakout like this from here to 20, right? When you see a breakout from 220, now you can play the upper gap with Amazon call options, okay? But be careful with calls because market is really bearish right now because of the oil prices are going up. Oil has reached 129. Let me see. So yeah, you see, if you put on the 4-hour time frame, you see we have hit the 130 in US oil. For those who don't know what that means, just go to the Google, or we all know how to use a ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT, Gemini, or any AI that you are comfortable with, and ask the AI what it means. What it means if US oil, or not the US oil, just put a type, what happens if oil prices go up above 120 or maybe 125, right? It it leads to, well, it leads to kind of recession, you know. I don't want to explain because my English sucks, and I hope you guys understand what I'm talking right now. But the AI will explain you how it will affect the recession if oil prices goes up. It means, well, the recession might start. Okay, it will explain you because oil prices usually trades. Let me put on a weekly. You see, 2022, we had a recession, right? We had a recession in 20, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2023 when the oil pumped to 92, right? And since then, we have been holding this range. And you see on a weekly, on this week, right, from Monday to Friday, we have broken out. We broke out this range. This is bullish for oil. This is bullish from the technical side. From the technical side, it is bullish. We have a support here on oil, US oil. We have a support here, right? And we'll see. Uh, President Trump is tweeting that the oil prices will go down, but we will see. There's nothing we can do about the economy, about the politics. So we just follow the flow, we just swim, right? With big guys. All right. Now let's talk about the Google. Google on a weekly is at major support here. You see, we have been testing this support on in like mid December 2025. We've been testing in late February. Now we tested this week. If you put on a daily, you see a bigger picture. All right, this is a support. We're still holding the support. We didn't break down, but with overnight price, it's currently trading at 289. Let's put it to 290. Okay, 290. Let's put it 290. So currently, the Google price in overnight market is trading around 290, which means we are breaking down. If it's gonna break down the support, right? If it's gonna go lower, where will be the next support? Well, the next support technically should be somewhere here, right? Around like 275. If we break down again, the next support will be around here, right? Around like 240, 235. Okay. But what do you guys see here? What do you guys see here? Well, I see Head and Shoulders. It's not a perfect Head and Shoulders. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a perfect Head and Shoulders. But if you look at this like this is a head, right? This is head. This is left shoulder. Oops. This is left shoulder, and this is the right shoulder, right? And overall direction right now is bearish on Google. Okay. Um, don't trade this zone, guys. Don't trade Google. Well, with options especially, because options are you have a time decay, you have theta, right? And it basically, if it's not gonna move from this range, if it's not gonna move any big moves from the support, right? If it's gonna chop like this, so you will lose money. Okay. So next, Meta. I'm waiting for Meta. It is very similar to Apple Trade. We have a nice trend line, but the only difference between Apple and Meta is Apple has the trend line support since April 2025. The Meta, however, if you zoom out, we have a support trend line from 2023, which is like a 3-year support. We have been testing this trend line multiple times on each day, right? Here, here, here. Let's draw the line like I did, and you will see. And we tested this trend line support in tariffs during the tariffs April lows, right? Here in November 2025, here in January 2026, and currently we are just chopping on this range. We're not going down, we're not going up, right? But so a beautiful trade for Meta will be if it's gonna pull back around like to 630, 625, right? And then you can give it a shot. It's very risky. You can go long on Meta like this, right? And play all the way to above 700. And your stop loss will be below this trend line. If it's gonna, there's two ways Meta will do. It's either go down, go up, break down, right? Break down the support trend line, the 3-year support trend line, right? It's gonna go down, you cut the loss. Or the second option is it will touch the trend line like it did here, right? Touch the trend line, you buy call options, then you expect the move up. Okay? If you are bearish on the Meta, wait for the breakdown. If you are bullish on the Meta, wait for the Meta price come down and retest the support trend line, right? This would be beautiful trade. You buy call options here, you see it tested, you buy here or you buy here, right? And even though you missed the pump, even though you buy on this day, you still had a chance to catch. Let's not be perfect. This move happened because of the earnings. You see, because of the earnings, it was up 14%. But even if Meta goes up 4%, just regularly, like nothing special, right? It goes up 4%, you still make money on the call options. But the perfect entry would be here. The perfect entry would be somewhere here, right? You buy call options on this day, on this day, on this day. You hold. You don't panic because it's been testing for 4 days. Each candle is 1 day. 1 day, second day, third, fourth day, right? Right. You could have bought here, 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 but in 4 days your call options will be down, I don't know, maybe let's say 15 to 20%, right? It's just chopping, right? Goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. Then finally we find another support here. We test it and then went up, right? Let's say you bought on the second day. You bought it somewhere here, right? And you rode the momentum. This is percentage. Have a look. 15%, 16%, right? Not bad. You would probably panic sell. You would probably take profit when you're up 30%, 40% on this day. But smart people will not sell all their positions when they are up. Smart people will sell some, right? Let's say you bought 10 contracts, you sell 3 here, you sell another 3 here, and you sell the last here. Because why? Because I would sell my last position here because we have a support here, right? We have a support here. On this day, we made this. I'm sorry, not the support. Excuse my language. The resistance, right? We have a resistance here. I would take profits here, right? So that's it. So this is my move. I will wait Meta to come down, retest as it did like Apple. I've been waiting for Apple to come down, retest. And on Friday, I finally bought the call options. Patience, guys, patience. You will get this move. Don't worry. So Meta is currently trading at 6:30 in overnight. Let's say it will not recover during the pre-market or tomorrow. 6:30 is somewhere here. 6:30 is somewhere here. If you wait a little longer, you will get the price. Okay. So would you DCA into Apple options? Well, would I DCA on Apple options? Definitely no, because currently it's a losing trade. Like, let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. Apple is trading at 250, let's say 253, right? Let's say 253. I'll put it 253 here, just to be precise. Here. Currently in overnight price, Apple is trading here. If Apple, so my where's my well, I think I have deleted. Let me just give me a second, guys. Long position. So my setup was something like this, right? So my trade idea, my setup was something like this. I enter the call options when it's gonna retest the trend line support, right? When it's gonna test the trend line support, and I will cut the loss if Apple will close below the trend line, right? If it's gonna make this move, right? If it's gonna make this move, if it's gonna go down on Monday and close below the trend line, I will cut the loss. I'm not gonna DCA, but currently it's 253. Let me just put it here, 253. If Apple will stay at 253 and it's not gonna come back above the trend line, the support trend line here, if it's not gonna close above the 255, let's say 255, I'm gonna cut the loss. I'm not gonna DCA because it's a losing trade. You should respect your trading style, whatever style you're trading. So my style is either I have 3 styles. I have a breakout or breakdown. I have a second style is trading EMAs. The third is dead cat bounce plays, right? So this one is dead cat bounce, right? I'm expecting this type of move. If it's gonna close below the trend line, right now it's trading here. If it's gonna close below 250, 255, below the trend line, I'm gonna cut the loss. Like, it's okay. We're traders. We don't know what's gonna happen in the future, right? But if it's gonna stay above, I will wait because you see, Apple has been testing the support trend line for 4 days in a row. Here again, you see, in August 2025, we tested 1 day, second day, the third day, and on the fourth day, we recovered. Okay, so as long as it doesn't break below the support trend line, I'm not gonna DCA. I'm not gonna do anything. I'll just manage my position, right? If it's gonna close below, I'll cut the loss. If it's gonna close above 255, 256, I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna hold. The next, disregard, found it on your signal. All right, cool. We talked about the Meta. Now. Let's talk about the Microsoft. Microsoft shortly saying we have a same as Meta. Same as Meta, you see on a weekly, I'm watching on a weekly, we have a massive trend line on Meta. I've explained it, I already covered it since 2023. Same as Apple since 2025. And Microsoft, same as Meta since 2022, guys. Since 2022, I'm watching on a weekly just to, just to see the bigger picture. If I put on a daily, I have to just move back, 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 back. Okay, I'm not gonna move back. So what I'm gonna do is on a weekly, we have a major trend line. We tested on the previous week, right? Let me put on a daily. You see, we have been testing. Let me delete it. We've been testing the trend line 2 days, right? Now we are trying to recover, and we have a massive gap here upside that needs to be filled, which is like a 8% gap. Oh my god, 8% gap, $35 gap, guys. Here, 35. So why I didn't buy Microsoft call options like I did with Apple, right? So someone asked me on Discord, like today. So someone asked me, it was GMC. He asked, David, why didn't you start Microsoft position a couple of days ago? And his TA is very similar to mine. So you see, he has a trend line, and you can see we bounced from the trend line, right? And I said, I have explained the only reason why I'm not involved in Microsoft is far beyond the TA. Microsoft is currently spending tens of billions on AI infrastructure and data centers, etc., etc., etc. Right? Here's my explanation. And he says that's true. Okay, good to understand. And another reason is, even though it's not that much related to Microsoft, is it's Oracle and OpenAI issue. If you don't know what happened in this week with OpenAI and Oracle, just go to Yahoo Finance or investing.com, or just Google Oracle and OpenAI news, and you will get what happened. Okay, they're kind of having issues with like data centers, and Microsoft owns. Correct me if I'm wrong here. 49 or 51% of OpenAI. If OpenAI, excuse my language, if OpenAI is fucked up, that means bearish for Microsoft. Okay, so that's why I didn't take this trade. It's far beyond the technical analysis. Yes, it's gonna bounce back. I know it's gonna bounce back, but when you have a bad sentiment in the specific in stock market, specifically in this stock, or doesn't matter any stock, for example, HIMS, for example, right? Let's go to HIMS. This was my trade idea for HIMS. Well, you don't know when it's gonna bounce back. So my technical analysis was $12, but why I didn't buy HIMS? For example, you would ask why you're not invested in HIMS shares. I know it's good company, but the sentiment between NVO and HIMS was like NVO is suing them. It's the technical analysis won't work here, guys. When you have a fundamental issues, when you have a bad sentiment, bad news about the company or stock, your TA won't work. The sentiment is bigger than the TA. Keep in mind. So that's why I didn't take. I wasn't part of the Microsoft. So yeah. So shortly saying, Microsoft has filled the gap here, right? We had a gap here. And as you can see, when Microsoft was dumping, we have filled the gap. So now you can delete the gap. And now we have a gap here in the upper side. So if you want to be bull on Microsoft, right? If you want to buy call options, I would just wait, just be patient, right? When you see a breakout of this zone, well, let's put it at 240, right? When you see a nice bullish momentum, when you see a breakout, then you can buy call options. Well, what I did on Amazon this week, for example, I traded Amazon. It was a day trade. I saw I traded Amazon on March 4th, right? I saw Amazon is breaking out the support zone, and I bought call options. I closed my positions around like 216 to 17, right? It was like okay, now it's breaking out. I see the volume is coming, and I saw that there was a gap left here. There was a gap left here, and we're breaking out from this support zone. And I traded. I played the gap fill. Well, it was a pity that I closed on the same day. The next day, it pumped again. It filled the gap here. You see, it filled the gap here, and well, I made a profit on this day. It is what it is. But the next day, it pumped, and on Friday, it dumped. So if you are bullish on Microsoft, I wouldn't buy call options here because why? Because Microsoft can either go down, right, or keep going up, retest the resistance here, and you see a breakout similar to Amazon towards the gap, then you should buy Microsoft call options. Okay. So next is Tesla. Tesla has been building a nice the bull flag. You see, this is the flag, and this is the whatever it is you hold, right? If I make this, now it looks like a flag, right? This is bull flag. Well, it is very tight. It is very tight. So my trade idea would be once it's gonna come to 390, then I will try to buy Tesla call options, right? And play the breakout. So it will make this type of move. For example, just an example, touch the 290, right? I buy call options. You see this type of move, a little bit pullback, right? A little bit pullback like this, and then breakout. Or it can go like this and break down. So if it's gonna break down, I will accept the loss. If it's gonna break out, then I will buy. I will take the profit. Okay, but keep in mind the resistance trend line. This one is very tight. So we have a massive support here, right? We have a massive support we tested in November, right? And November, in February, in March, right? And it's very tight. When you see a tight flag, it's gonna break out. It can't just move sideways forever. It's gonna break out or break down. Okay, it's on your risk. Take the trade on your risk. This is my trade idea. I will buy somewhere at 290. Sorry, 390, 385 around, like, because we have been testing. We have a confirmation. We've tested the support, tested the support. We'll probably test it again and then come back, breakout. Okay. So last but not the least is Nvidia. On Nvidia, we are still trading on this range. Very long time, guys. So it is very dangerous to trade the Nvidia right now because it's dangerous to own the shares. I'm sorry, it's very dangerous to own the shares. Let's say if you bought in August 2025 Nvidia in August 2025, the beginning of August, you still break even. How many months passed? September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 7 months. 7 months. Your position is still break even. Let's say you bought it here, and the current price is still here. right? But with options, it's kind of interesting. Same as Apple, same as Meta, guys, same as Tesla, same as Nvidia. Look, we have a nice support trend line here, right? And everything is bullish on Nvidia, guys. Keep in mind, everything is bullish. Fundamentally, is bullish. The their cash flow, their like everything, right? Fundamentally, go to Google and type Nvidia. I forgot Nvidia quarterly earnings report, and you will see their balance sheet, you will see their how there was quarter, and they're predicting $80 billion revenue for the next year, not including the China. They did not include the China revenue. Well, why? Because they don't want to say, okay, we're expecting 90 billion, including the China. But let's say if there's like a bad relationship with the US and China, and they couldn't sell to China, and that means their next year quarter will be bad. So that's why they didn't include. But let's say if relationship will be good and they will start selling their chips to China, that makes their future prediction was 80 billion, and they will start selling to China. That makes them maybe 90 billion, maybe 100 billion, right? Which is like very, very, very bullish. It's their fundamentals are A plus plus plus. Okay, so every time it touched the trend line, let's talk about the TA now, technical analysis, right? Every time it touched this support trend line, we tested, we pulled up, right? We tested the trend line, we made the new highs. We tested, goes up. We tested, again goes up. The next 3 days it goes up. So on your own risk, guys, on your own risk, you can go long on Nvidia somewhere around like 174, maybe 175, right? And cut the loss below the trend line. Below the trend line, yes. So you can play this move. It's very beautiful. It would be a very beautiful trade. Okay, so you every time look. I'm talking about the history. I'm talking about the confirmation. All right, every time we test the trend line, you buy call options here. The next 4 or 5 days, you hold, you sell here. Okay, we test it again. You buy, you hold, you sell the next 3 or 4 days. Again, test it again. It's very easy. You test it. We test it. Next 4, 5, 6 days, you sell here. We test it. You sell here. Like you buy at 171, you sell at 193. um, like you don't need like anything like it's a no brainer trade, right? So yeah, do you guys have any questions about the Magnificent Seven stocks or Qs or SPY or IWM or Bitcoin, guys? Ask me now because I will move on to new setups that I will be watching for this week. Okay. All right. Cool. We don't have any questions. You guys boring. Boring. No, I'm kidding. It's good. If you don't have any questions, it's either you don't understand me or I explain it so good that you don't have any questions. It's either one. Yo, why Blaze Masons? Yo, bro, why your text coming as a spam? Look, says spam. You're very clear that exactly though. Okay, cool. So, well, first I want to cover IGV, guys. First, I want to cover IGV. It's IGV is iShares ETF of tech software section. Okay, it's ETF for tech software section. Simply saying, if you don't know what that means, it's a ETF for software as a service stocks like Adobe, like CRM, Salesforce, like um, like what was it, Datadog, like ServiceNow. It's ETF, right? So look at the IGV. We we have finally recovering on the SaaS stocks. Okay, we had a massive support. It was like you buy here, it will either bounce back up, right? You buy here when it's gonna touch the support. That's very important, guys. Like I would say, this learning about the support and resistance is much important than learning about the other things. Okay, that's like a like uh trading technical analysis 101. Okay, so you buy here and you expect a move up. If it's gonna, let's say, if it keeps going lower, then you just accept the loss. All right, you don't lose much here. But if it's gonna recover, it will probably recover like all the way to one. Let's not be that bullish, 110. Even it's gonna go to $90, right? Even it's gonna go to $90, which is very close. We're at trading at 87. Even it's gonna go to $90, you will make a bunch of money. 16%, right? You risk around 5% to make 16%, or even higher. If it's gonna go to $100, you make 35%. Okay, so overall, the SaaS stocks are breaking out. This is head, this is left shoulder, this is right shoulder, and this is a reverse head and shoulder, right? And we have tested the support. We're coming back, right? That cat bounce play. So I really love the SaaS stocks, and I have two stocks that I would love to trade this week. Is first is ServiceNow. Now is trading at $120 in overnight price. Overnight price is 120, somewhere here, which is, this is current price, guys. This is current price. I'm gonna make it blue. 120 is currently ServiceNow is trading here, which was a previous resistance. Keep in mind, when you start learning the TA, the resistance usually becomes the support once you see a breakout. So what it did is basically it pulled back. It was a healthy pullback, right? And look, guys, we have a beautiful gap here, right? So we almost, this was a gap left, right, on ServiceNow. We half fill the gap here. We half filled, right? There's still gap left, which is like a 3-4%, right? For the next 2, 3, 4 days, there's still gap left. We entered the gap. You see, this was a beautiful trade. When you see a breakout and entering the gap, you buy calls, because like the gap usually, when you enter the filling gap, it usually fills a gap, right? There's like a rare situations when it's gonna enter the gap and then pull back all the way down. Okay, so currently we're trading here, and let's turn on the EMAs. So EMA is curling up, changing its direction, right? We have even broken out from the 50 EMA. It's a small breakout, but it still counts on a daily. So I'm very bullish. Well, so my trade would be, well, we got a nice pullback, right? We got a nice pullback. So I want to play call options tomorrow on ServiceNow. I will definitely have a look. I'll definitely have a look. If we keep selling off, if it's gonna go lower, I want to buy at 115. But it would be another good trade if we try to recover. If it's gonna come close above 122, around like 122, then I want to play the gap fill by call options. Then play this gap fill. My stop loss would be below 120, right? It's it's a little bit dangerous trade. Keep in mind, it is very dangerous trade. But let me show you something else. Okay. Now, currently, I have explained you um, the gap that needs to be filled. The a small pullback, it gives you the previous resistance now become a support, right? Now look on the weekly, guys. Look at the weekly. We have broken out. You guys had an idea what to do, what we did here. Look at the weekly, guys. What do you see here? Okay, let me put it like this. So, well, I would make it like this. I'm not gonna lie, I would make it like this. All right. On a weekly, we have a massive bullish breakout, guys. When I see weekly breakout, I just buy calls because weekly breakouts are stronger than the daily breakouts. Okay, this is a daily breakout, even though it made on a Thursday. It was a massive breakout, strong buy volume. You see good green candles, right? It's not like small green candles, right? It's a good green, big green candles. Okay. But weekly breakout is far more important. And look how strong it closed on this week, right? A monthly, we're still trying to break out on the monthly time frame. Well, when you see a monthly time breakout, well, it's like a no question for me. Okay, so weekly breakout, guys, keep in mind I'm bullish on service now. Another one is, you guys have any questions on service now? If you have, please ask me. Another one is Datadog. Let me just delete this, delete this, delete this. Okay, and delete this. Okay, so we have two breakouts on Datadog. First is daily breakout. You see, we have a daily breakout. We have been testing the resistance trend line, this trend line multiple times. We tested, we didn't have enough power, enough bullishness to break out, right? We tested, pulled back. We tested, pulled back. And look, we broke out on March 4th. Look, it keeps going up. And same thing on a weekly breakout, guys. Woof, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. On a weekly, look, weekly candle. Each candle is testing the trend line, pulling back down. Testing, goes lower. Testing, closes below the trend line. And weekly, a strong breakout. We had the weekly on a Datadog gave you a sign on last week. Look at this. It's almost like a hammer candle on the weekly, right? Finding a support from the $98, right? And closing bullish here. Yes, it's a red candle, but the way how the weekly candle closed is giving you a sign. Okay, bro, I'm gonna go up now. Okay, so okay, look here. I found another one. This is hammer. The weekly candle on 2024, the beginning of January 2024, is closed bullish. This is hammer candle, guys. There are some type of candles that you should know. This is hammer candle. This is bullish sign. And look, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, the Datadog went up higher. Okay, same thing. It closed kind of hammer. It's not a clean hammer, guys, but kind of a type of a hammer, right? Um, and the next week, which is this week, we broke out on a weekly time frame. So I'm bullish. Where would I buy? So I would probably be buying 135. My target will be 135, 135, which is like kind of resistance zone here. Like we tested, right? And on let me turn on the same thing. We are breaking out. Look, guys, I'm gonna zoom in. It's not a clean breakout from the 50 EMA, but still counts. We closed above the 50 EMA, right? We'll see how the market will react tomorrow and this week, but a weekly breakout gives me a good sign. And look, I'm gonna show you another thing why I kind of like this trade is 9 EMA, guys. 9 EMA gives you a direction in the stock market, right? Green line. So when you see a breakout from the 9 EMA, look, we have been in upper trend, and then we were chopping still above the 9 EMA. And look, the market the Datadog breakdown on a weekly, the 9 EMA on this week, and since then we were in the bearish direction. Look, every week we tested 9 EMA, we go lower. We test, we go lower, lower, lower. And look, we finally, the weekly candle is closed above the 9 EMA, right? Guys, like it's two signs. There's two signs that that first weekly breakout and 9 EMA breakout. So this is my setup for, I have only two setups that I'm bullish. And then another one is UNH. UNH trade is not ready. I have explained it multiple times. Guys, let me turn off the EMA. So first, we have a beautiful trend line here that we have been testing, similar to Apple, similar to Meta, right? We have been testing the trend line multiple times. We are recovering, but we have a resistance we are trying to break out. This 295 resistance is very, very, very strong. Okay, so once we break out 295, start watching the UNH. Start watching UNH. And once you see a strong bullish, right? Strong bullish candle that closes above the 300. So 300 is kind of psychological resistance for UNH right now, the 300. Because previously it was a support, now it became the resistance. Okay, look, same thing here on these days. So wait till it's gonna break out the 300 and then you can go long. We have a massive gap here, guys. Massive 40. Yeah, it's around like a 46. Yeah, 43, $46 gap here, guys. It's 13%. 13% gap on UNH. So what I would do is once we see a strong close above the 300, then I will go call options and target 320, which is around like a almost 7% move upside. Then I will wait for a small pullback, then buy call options again, and then target the next. I will sell my profits somewhere at 320, right? Take profit here. Don't hold all the way to gap fill because it's a huge gap fill. I don't think we will fill the gap in 1 week or 2 weeks. It will like go up, pull back, then go up again. So you take profits here. Let's say you invested $1,000, $1,000 on UNH. You ride the momentum. Now you made $2,000 profit, right? So you invested 1,000, you made $2,000 profit. and now total you have 3,000. You roll over your profits to gain more profits. You don't you don't diamond hand, right? You don't give up your $2,000 that you earned. You once you take profit, you chill, you wait. The next few days will probably be pulling back, right? A healthy pullback. You invested $2,000, and then you ride the momentum. You take another 3,000. So total you made 6,000. Okay, hope that makes sense. You roll over your profits for bigger profit. Okay, that's a safe way to trade. So what I did with MO basically, so I made profit, 100% profit. It was like I took profits on the way I trimmed, right? I took profit, then I entered somewhere here, then I only invested the profits that I took, then call options. The trade didn't go well, so basically I lost what I invested. I didn't lost what was mine. You know what I'm saying? So I took profits on MO. I waited for a pullback. I reinvested my profits here. I hope that it will go up from the 9 EMA. My trade was like based on the 9 EMA. If it's gonna break down the 9 EMA, I'm gonna accept the loss. And it broke down the 9 EMA, so I accepted the loss. I lost my gains, but I didn't lose my own money. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so this is another setup for probably this week. We'll see. Okay. Now, you guys do have any questions? It's a Q&A. If you guys have any stocks that you would me to do the technical analysis, ask me. I'm free. Okay. All right. Damn, I gotta work on my English, guys. I need to read more English books because I speak like a beginner English speaker. I need to work. I need to use fancy words, like I sound like a professional. It's really hard to understand what I'm saying, but we'll work on it. I will start reading some books, some very interesting books, not related to trading at all, just to improve my English. So, if you guys have any questions, ask me. I will be here in 5 more minutes. Okay, my broski asked me a question. Bitcoin has been almost an RSI for the market. Would you agree with that statement? It helps to identify momentum if it's true. Yeah, let me go to Bitcoin. Let me go to Bitcoin. Wait a second. Okay, here. So we need the RSI. I don't usually use the RSI. I'm not gonna lie. On the daily RSI, we are in the middle. Okay, let me reread your question because I think I didn't understand your question. Bitcoin has been almost an RSI for the market. Oh, yes. Yeah. Bitcoin was like, well, uh, yeah, kind of, but Bitcoin was selling off. Look, from all-time highs. Yeah, I think you mean the Bitcoin was kind of giving you a future direction for the stock market, right? So from all-time highs, from 125, 126, Bitcoin is down 47%, right? And Qs, the Qs, for example, let's take a look. From Qs are down 5%. It's it's not a big deal. SPY, same thing. From all-time highs, is down 3%, 4%, right? IWM, however, from all-time highs is down 7%. So 5 to 10% is kind of a healthy pullback. It's not a healthy pullback. I'm sorry. 5% down is a kind of healthy pullback. 10% is kind of correction, 10 to 15%. And above the 15%, to me, it's a bear market. Look how it dumped at open today and is now recovering. Yes. Yeah. So Bitcoin is just chilling on this range, as I mentioned, right? We made a fake breakout on March 4th, right? March 4, we made a fake breakout. It was a bull trap for a lot of crypto traders. Look, the next day, the next 2 days, right? Bitcoin pumped how much? Bitcoin pumped almost 10%, right? And closed below 7. It pumped 9%, and in the next 2 days, it gave back whatever it gained in one day. The third day, we closed below this candle. Now it's just chilling. It's just chilling. So look, how many times we were like this. So for example, let's say if my range was something like this, right? Something like this. We were just trading in this range, trading on this range, retesting, going lower, and we breaking out. The next day we breaking out. It was a bull trap again, and now Bitcoin pulled back, closed bearish, and dumped. You know what I'm saying? So crypto market. I do believe the crypto market has a cycle. It has a cycle. So what you can do is just go to the Google or whatever browser you use, just type Bitcoin cycle, and you will get a lot of cycles, and you will see that the cycle is very similar to whatever Bitcoin is making its move. Right? Right. All right, guys. If you don't have any questions, thank you so much for joining me on Sunday Market Recap. I hope you guys enjoyed. And that's it on me. I will share the due diligence for ServiceNow and Datadog. I have already shared the UNH, so I won't do that. I will share two setups for this week, and we will see how the market will do. All right. So thank you so much for joining me, and